Twój przewodnik po świecie języka angielskiego. Dzień dobry, witam bardzo serdecznie, tu Monika Podbielska. Dzisiaj chciałabym Wam opowiedzieć o Indiach. Indie jest to kraj, który jest przez nas postrzegany jako kraj często biedny, albo nieciekawy, albo możemy mieć różne inne wyobrażenia na jego temat. I po dzisiejszej krótkiej opowieści mam nadzieję, że bardziej zainteresujesz się tym subkontynentem tak naprawdę z liczbą ludzi, która za chwilę przekroczy liczbę ludzi w Chinach. I naprawdę jest to wielkie, wielkie pole dla nas do czerpania inspiracji, do badania kultury i do śledzenia historii. A dlaczego? To za chwilę dokładnie się dowiesz. Tekst będzie oczywiście po angielsku. Z mojej strony internetowej www.monikapodbielska.com pobierz pełen tekst, żeby zapoznać się ze słownictwem, zapoznać się z gramatyką i tak przygotowanym możesz przesłuchać ten tekst raz jeszcze albo zacząć słuchać bez przygotowania. Spróbuj odpowiedzieć na pytania, które będą na końcu tekstu, a następnie sięgnąć raz jeszcze właśnie do pełnego materiału. Zapraszam. India. Today I'd like to talk to you about India. Why India, you may ask? I dare to say that it is the most fascinating country in the world and the most misunderstood one. In fact, it is a country and a subcontinent. With its population of almost 1.4 billion people, soon it is going to be the most inhabited country in the world, taking over even China. The majority of us know not much about this place, or we base our knowledge on prejudices or superficial perceptions. So, what would you say if I asked you, what is India? Is it a poor country? What is its prevailing religion? What language is used in India? What do we owe to India? What was invented there? What business fields is India known for? Try to answer by yourself, but I am convinced that your general perception may be, apart from those individuals who already highly value its culture, filled with a feeling of sympathy for its wealth gap and strange religious practices like religious splashing in rivers, which rivers are simultaneously treated as public rubbish dump. I might guess that the majority of us do perceive India as a place full of poverty and suffering, and as a place of social inequality, with society divided into caste system. But India is so much more. India is as big as the whole Western Europe, with a long history. In fact, it is home to the oldest human civilization. Evidence suggests that modern human beings reached the Indian subcontinent at least 75,000 years ago. Agriculture was well established in India by 7,000 BC, and by 3000 BC, a highly complex civilization was flourishing along the Indus River in northwestern India. It was known as the Indus Valley Civilization. It was one of the world's first urban civilizations. At its peak, it may have had a population of well over 5 million. Inhabitants of this ancient civilization built well-organized cities out of brick, were making sophisticated drainage and water storage systems and multi-story houses. They developed writing systems, were skilled craftsmen, and carried out international trade. After its decline, India was controlled by a number of different emperors. Then, in the 19th century, the British took control of this vast country. The British occupation was called Raj. People usually think of the British presence in India as a colony. In fact, it was an occupation by a trading company. The British presence in India dates from the beginning of the 17th century, when Queen Elizabeth I set up the East India Company. At first, the company's aim was merely to trade with India, but it ended up becoming an occupying force. They imposed their language and laws, banned certain traditional practices that they considered uncivilized, and attempted to educate the Indians as English. Finally, the Indian had it enough. At the end of the First World War, a nationwide, non-violent movement against the British rule emerged, led by a small, frail old man called Mohandas Gandhi. He encouraged the Indian people to peacefully resist the British occupation. Gandhi and his followers believed in non-cooperation, which meant boycotting everything English, including schools, clothing, jobs, industry, and law courts. The British imprisoned Gandhi, but when he was released, he continued his struggle. In 1942, "Quit India" became Gandhi's slogan, and Britain started to realize that Indian independence was inevitable. So, the British entered into negotiations with him. And on the 15th of August 1947, India finally gained independence from the Great Britain. In this way, Mahatma Gandhi is considered the father of the Indian nation. Quite spectacularly, India managed to gain independence relatively peacefully. India is one of the most culturally diverse societies on the planet, with people practicing a variety of religions. Every world religion has its followers in India. There is Hinduism, Christianity, Buddhism, Sikhism, Islam, Judaism. They coexist peacefully next to one another. The biggest religious pilgrimage taking place every 12 years gathers as many as even 9 million people. Hindu and English are the two official languages of India, but every state within India has its own additional official language. Although a high proportion of Indians speak English, less than 250,000 speak it as the first language. India is home to the biggest film industry in the world, Bollywood, making almost twice as many films as Hollywood and making on them 30 times more money, as India, along with Pakistan, are the most frequent cinema goers in our globe. India is a huge economy, known also for its automotive industry, banking, IT, accounting, food production. We owe to India number 0 and the use of shampooing for hair washing. In India, navigation and yoga were invented, and until now, people are treated with the use of traditional Indian medicine called Ayurveda. Students at universities may choose between the Ayurveda and traditional Western medicine departments, both lasting 6 years. Now India is home to safe thorium-based nuclear power. The whole world is fascinated with this solution, as it seems to be the safe one, unlike uranium and plutonium-based nuclear power. India is planning to produce as much as 30% of its energy soon based on this solution. In India, you may find the most gorgeous and expensive hotels and palaces. In one of them, you may stay for as much as $88,000 a night. India is a country of huge contrasts. There is widespread poverty, with 35% of inhabitants living below the poverty line, but also amazing wealth. Over 1 million Indians are millionaires. India is one of the most geographically diverse countries in the world. It has mountains, plains, deserts, rainforests, grasslands, swamplands, and more. Rich in biodiversity, it is home to some of the world's rarest and most majestic animals like the Indian elephant, Bengal tiger, Great Indian one-horned rhinoceros, Asiatic lion, and snow leopard. Its natural beauty, long history, exciting culture, and friendly people make it one of the world's most fascinating countries. And now let's try to answer questions about India. Number 1. How do we know that the Indus Valley civilization was an advanced one? Because there were multi-story houses, drainage system, houses made of brick, and a writing system. Number 2. What was the Raj? Raj. It was the period of the British occupation of India. Number 3. What did the British ban in India? They banned traditional clothing and traditional practices. Number 4. Why is Gandhi considered the father of the Indian nation? Because he led to the peaceful Indian independence. Number 5. What is meant by non-cooperation? It means boycotting everything that was British. Number 6. What animals may be found in India? We may find there a lot of majestic animals like Indian elephant, Bengal tiger, one-horned rhinoceros, Asiatic lion, and snow leopard. Dziękuję Wam za wysłuchanie dzisiejszej opowieści. Mam nadzieję, że zainteresują Wam teraz Indie i przypominam, żebyście sobie ściągnęli, pobrali tekst, zapoznali się ze słownictwem i w ten sposób rozwijali ze mną swój angielski. Pamiętaj, aby zasubskrybować mój podcast, żeby zawsze być na bieżąco. Pozdrawiam i do usłyszenia. Monika Podbielska.